Guys, welcome back to my channel. It feels like it's been so long, really so long since I did a sit down with you all. We have so much to catch up on, but of course this is not a life update. We are once again diving into a little segment I like to call the Millennial Career. And I am your Millennial Career Guru. Yeah, I went there. And we're going to be looking at some of the things I've learned and things I did while waiting for my dream job. So I'm basically going to be running you guys through the things I did to keep myself motivated and of course to expose myself to as many recruiters and companies as I possibly could at the time. So without further ado, subscribe and let's get into it. If you don't already know, one thing on this channel is we love a good cuppa and we always have what we're going to talk about scribbled down somewhere. So make sure you have a notebook handy in order for you to take as many notes as possible. So one thing I would advise anyone who is searching for a job to do is to talk about what you were going through at that point. One of the things that made my job search easier was because I was already in another job, and pretty much it seemed like all of us were very unhappy about where we were. So we often talked about getting new jobs. We were able to discuss our frustrations together, and that kind of helped the situation a bit. Now, if you do not have that sort of support system, a really great thing for you would be to talk to family and friends. And to anyone who has a friend or a family member that's currently searching for a job, please be nice to us. We know we are probably a burden, or we feel like we're a burden. So the best thing you can do to see us through this period where we are searching is to just lend an ear. Not judgment, just shut up and listen. One of the most ridiculous things I did for myself or to myself while searching for a job was to set unrealistic goals. One of the goals I set was that I thought I would get a new job from where I was in 6 months. And instead, it took me a year and a half. Now, it's amazing to have goals. And of course, the way things work for us in this world is very, very different. But in those 6 months that I thought things would have popped for me were the months where I experienced the most disappointment, because I already had I was fixated on this vision or this idea of the fact that I'm going to be out of here in 6 months. And child, a year passed and I was still stuck in that job, still stuck in that rut. And I really feel like it's good to dream, but also try to be realistic about the situation. The way the job market is right now, even pre-COVID, was already very tricky, very slippery, and very, very difficult for people to get work. So just set short-term goals. I would say consider short-term goals that, okay, by 3 months, I would have sent X amount of applications. In the next 6 months, I'm going to make sure that I formed connections with people in the industry that I want to end up in. So those are a bit more attainable, while a job, well, it's a gamble. Another way to stay positive during a job search is to create a routine. And a routine definitely does help you get out of a rut. It helps keep you motivated, or at least helps you keep organized. So one of the things I did while searching for my job is I would always arrive to work an hour earlier. Well, when I could anyway. I'd arrive at work an hour earlier, or leave work an hour later. And I would set this hour aside to go through LinkedIn, find out who was doing what I eventually want to do, what they studied, what connections they've built, and I would have a little notebook where I'd scribble all of those things down. And it was basically the time I'd set aside to kind of carve my career path out. Now, for instance, you could consider that, okay, morning hours are strictly for looking for job ads and applying. And then, of course, you could set the rest of your day aside to do other activities. And let me tell you this, it is absolutely crucial to still create a life outside of just applying for jobs. That is why it's so important to allocate just a portion of your day towards a job search and not necessarily let it consume the rest of your life. And I only say this because, like I said before, this is something that you're going to throw yourself into 100% because you do want to see results. But I also know from my own experience that when I kept on getting only rejection letters, I was getting really depressed and really stressed, and that wasn't good for my health, my mental health. So I ended up telling myself that, you know what, I'm only going to set a portion of my time to this thing. The next point is something that a friend had put me on when I had made them aware that I wanted a career change. And they basically introduced me to Coursera and Google, what was it called? Google Digital something. But I'll link it down below. So I'll just give you guys a bit of context. Prior to what I'm doing now, I was an account manager. And before I was an account manager, I was a copywriter. But I did know that I wanted to be a certified digital marketer. And unfortunately, at the time, the only digital marketers I knew were friends of mine that were already working in South Africa. I then, like I said, made it known to them that I wanted a career change. Unfortunately, I could not afford to go to school and go do that one thing, but I wanted to at least have the basics. They then introduced me to some free online classes that I could take. I took those online classes and they eventually helped shape my career to what it is right now, while I'm still completing my certification. Anyway, taking this class helped me quite a lot because I ended up meeting other individuals that were undertaking the same course on Twitter. We ended up having a Facebook group. We ended up having a WhatsApp group. And from there, I was able to build a network. And although this network did not particularly help me in terms of getting my now job, it exposed me to more people with the same interests. And what that does is it really helps you shape your career. And it also helps you have this community of people with shared interests who you can bounce ideas from and essentially learn from. So, like I was saying when I started this whole thing, take a class. The next point is by far one of my favorite things. Treat yourself. And I know you're gonna ask me, how am I gonna treat myself when I'm unemployed? Treating yourself could be as simple as taking a walk to go see a friend, or just taking a walk for the heck of it. It could be enjoying a cup of tea in silence under a peach tree, reading a newspaper that's even a week old. It doesn't matter. It's all about taking time out to recharge your batteries. When you are searching for a job, you are constantly putting yourself out there. You don't know whether the person that's going to receive your application is going to be impressed and ultimately want to see you for a meeting, or you're going to get an email that says you've been rejected. And as a person that's received quite a few rejection letters, I know that stepping back and appreciating the fact that I am a work in progress has really helped me bounce back and try again. Lastly, visualization. Listen, this is not some chunk-rubbing tactic, but it is a tactic that works. I have been using visualization as a tool that's helped me get closer to the things I want in life. And it is not a joke. Easy. It's just lie in bed in the morning or lie in bed right before you sleep and think of 5 things or 3 that you really want to see happen in your life. And it might sound like a really stupid trick, but it is something that works. That when we see ourselves there, we will eventually get there. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Remember, be kind to yourself. This is not a sprint, it's a slow and steady race. So breathe. You are gonna get your dream job sooner or later. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. My name is Kiva Phakisi. Love and light.